Sound, a group of vibrations, things that can be heard. Sound can influence the way we communicate in the world with others. Many artists have used sounds in music, speech, and sound effects when recorded, used to accompany a presentation. From the beginner to the professional, from starting as a novice to becoming a master, from playing and experimenting to create a masterpiece. These are all elements of art, and our art on this program is sound. Hi, I'm L.V. Smith, host of Sounds Within. In this program, we talk about all aspects of sound. Now, a lot of folks tend to assume sound to only music or spoken word or acting. Well, sound plays a part in just about every aspect of life. And sometimes sound has motivated people to do things in life, be it the word, following the word of spirituality, or pursuing career in business, or even going into collision auto repair. And today I cannot think of a better way to start a new dynamic way of introducing sound with my guest today. We go way back when with Mr. Akramian. How are you doing, sir?
Fine, nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We go back a bit, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm going to ask the same old questions, and you just expound upon it as much as you like. What makes Ray Ray?
What makes, excuse me, Ray is a lot of factors, and I name a few. It's first is perseverance, a strong desire to reach the goals that I set up for myself. Persistence, content, desire to get along with people, and desire to help people.
You said something right away that just caught my ear, and you said it with great fervor. You said perseverance. Why did you pick that first?
Because, in my opinion, perseverance is an essential and necessary factor that requires for anybody to have it in order to pursue their goal and reach out for their goals. That's one of the elements, like I said, necessary to have that. You have to be able to persevere and have a strength and persistency to go after your goals until you reach it.
Great. And you said another word with great intensity, persistence. What do you mean?
Persistence simply means never giving up. It means to me when you set out a goal to reach, that may be difficult, that may be very hard to get to that goal. But if you're persistent and you start the journey to reach that goal, that persistency is going to get you there. And no matter how hard it is, how difficult the road is, and how much energy and time you have to spend on that, you have to be persistent in your desire to reach your goal in order to get that goal.
I'm reminded very much of a dear friend who hosts a show called Smile Lady, and she always has her brother sing this song called Never Give Up, Never Give Up, Never Give Up, Never Give Up. And growing up as a child, when you hear, you go like, never give up, and you're like, oh. But then again, there's some things that just walk up there and you say, that will never be mine, but I'm sick and tired of hearing that, and I want it bad.
you have an experience of anything like that in life when you were experiencing your goal to be persistent and to persevere to get those things?
Well, of course, life is full of challenges. We, as a human being at different stage of lives, we have different challenges to meet. And some challenges are a little bit more difficult than others. And I'm sure you have those experiences also as well.
Oh, yeah.
So it's many occasions that I have had to meet new challenges and just pursue that desire to overcome those challenges.
Wow.
So that is basically, like I said, it's not any particular occasion. It's just once you set up yourself for overcoming the challenges ahead of you, no matter how difficult or how easy they are, then you're on your way to
success, to achieving that goal.
That is correct.
Wow, wow, that's impressive. We're going to revisit that subject a little later on, but since this is the show called Sounds Within, I'm going to tap into your psyche here. I want you to go way back in time. I don't care, the first you can remember. What was the very first sound that caught your ear, and why?
The very first sound as a young kid or a child, I could say was the sound of trains.
Trains.
And because every time I was hearing the train goes by and makes that special noise of moving train.
Now, was this steam or was this a diesel at the time?
It was diesel. It wasn't steam.
Had that rumble just going on that bike. Oh yes, massive. And when it came by, it got louder than thunder.
Exactly. So I always kind of was waiting because I knew what pretty much
what followed.
And so I was always kind of waiting for that train to make the noise.
Had that anticipation for that train to make the noise.
Exactly.
Did you ride the trains?
Yes, definitely. I because of the fact that I liked the train, many times that I had the chance, I had the chance to ride the train.
Where did you ride the trains?
Well, the first time that I had a chance to ride a train was from Oklahoma to Texas.
Wow. Oh, wow. Do you remember where about in Oklahoma did you start and where about in Texas did you go?
Yes, I do. It was from Norman, Oklahoma to Austin, Texas. Yes. Wow.
And that was with the whole family and everything then?
No, I was pretty much by myself. I was going to go to college.
Now, wait a minute. You heard this sound as a child of the train and you just...
I didn't have chance to ride the train until the very first time that I had the chance to ride it. It was from Oklahoma to Texas.
So do you still want to pursue more train riding?
Oh, ever since that, that was when I was barely 18, and after that, every chance I got, I rode train from Los Angeles to San Diego, actually, I took a train from Los Angeles to Oregon, and I had very much fun riding train.
It's like a big video of sound. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love it. I love it. Now, before we go into our break, I want to know what is the first sound that attracted you to made you want to pursue what you did with cars? Later on, we'll talk about cars.
Well, like I said, when I was looking at the train, I liked the locomotive, the engines, the whole machine that was pulling and transporting goods as well as peoples. So that made me always think about the engines and the pulling system that it was on the train. And then it also evolved into knowing about cars and the engine of cars and motors. So I had also a passion about the cars, and because I realized that this piece of machine is what is static, is not a static, it's
Right.
dynamic.
Right.
And it's moving and
So you loved
taking
the fact that it
things.
was making noise to move.
To move and to go forward, and it wasn't static, it was dynamic. So that principle was very affecting my thinking and my thought about trains and cars and things like that. Therefore, I always liked cars, as every young teenager or students who go through high school or college years, they like cars, and I wasn't no exception either to that thought. So, but I developed this thinking that not only I liked the cars, to have a car to drive it, I also wanted to know about the cars.
Wow,
and
what was the
engine.
first car that caught your ear? Not your sight, but your ear.
The first car that it was, believe it or not, it was those old Mercedes. I think it was 170 diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were one of the earliest diesel cars, weren't they?
diesel cars. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was 170, I think, or 180. That was those old.
Yeah, they clank. They sound like a big old Freightliner, but small.
Exactly. So that caught my ears
Oh,
about the sound of the car, and so liking cars and engines and liking to know about them, that kind of got my attention to getting into license of the dealership. So I buy cars and I sell cars, and also I fix cars at the collision auto repair specialist. We have mechanical repair as well as collision repair that we work with the cars, and I like the sound of the cars being fixed, the equipment that is fixing. the cars.
So you like the sound. We're going to be getting into that part in our next segment of the show. But before I do, I might as well share a little thing from me back in the past. It began as a fear and dislike of the vehicle, of school buses. Like the car, because I always loved the sound of a gearbox going off on a car. But when a bus went off, it was much bigger and louder. Hurt my ears. But then I got used to it until the big monster Crown Coach came out. And when it went off, it was like a bomb going. Ooh, I hated that thing. I jumped off the bus and got yelled at and threatened to be beaten the whole bit, and they put me back on the bus, and it was a long, miserable ride. Oh, every time they came to stop, that gearbox go off. Hated it. Something happened when we first got married, I learned to drive one. Oh, that was magic to my ears. Just going there, going. You work on school buses?
Well, I haven't, and like you said, the school buses are big and huge. It's
They have a big diesel motor.
yeah, they do. And but the answer to that question is no. We don't work on a school buses, and neither have I.
I got a devilish fetish here to draw to the audience. Hey, anybody here want to donate an old Crown Coach to me? Donate, I said. And we're gonna have Uncle Ray go after decorating that thing to look like the Partridge Family bus. I said, I want the Crown Coach, not the long schnout. I want the flat nose thing that looked like the automatic, but with the nasty 5-speed gearboxes.
Definitely.
And as a matter of fact, some of my former students are, they hate the fact I kept needling them about the school bus. They're threatening to buy a school bus to go chase me down and make me hear them drive and stuff me in the back seat. No, I ain't going to do that. So, yeah, you got to help me get a school bus.
Definitely, definitely.
It's getting near time for a PSA break, so we're going to, how much time I have for that, Uncle Larry? He's my man. Okay, well, let's have a breather right now, because got to prepare for our next segment, so take it away.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness, I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness.
Hi, L.B. Smith of Sounds Within. Today we have Ray Akramian, proprietor of C.A.R.S, which is Collision Auto Repair Specialist, in as a guest. And he was telling us about the sounds that attracted him to go into repairing and restoring cars. Right, Ray?
Yes.
So, okay, so now we're going to fast forward a little bit. What got you into doing, let's say, a restoration and repairing cars?
Yes, I was saying that I like the sound of the cars running and...
So you liked originally the diesel cars. Did you fall in love or got attracted to the sounds of any other car engines or anything like that, or horns?
Well, diesel sound was the first sound of the car that I heard.
Right.
But eventually I heard other cars that they were with gasoline and regular engines, not diesel.
Right. What did you get attracted to any non-diesel cars that really attracted your ear?
Well, basically the sound of the engines that it was running was
you just wanted to run.
Yes.
I thought if you heard something like a flathead go off, or a high power compression motor go off, or a little techno engine going like screaming like a Porsche or something like that.
No, the engine, basically the sound of the engine running was
just as long as it ran.
Yeah, as long as it's running. It's that's what I was attracted to, because I knew once that piece of equipment, that piece of machine is running, it's going to be a movement. It's going to be a dynamic force for transporting people and goods and other things, you know. So that was very fascinating to me.
Have you ever been attracted to the sound of a particular auto where it just says, I gotta have it, because it makes a different sound, or it makes a more masculine thing?
There was, when I was younger, I always liked those old Mustangs, that they had their own special.
Or you're talking about
sound
the big block V8s?
Yes,
or,
big block V8s,
yeah.
yes.
Well, they weren't that big, but they were very powerful.
Yeah.
Thanks to Uncle Carol Shelby. Rest in peace, bro. We love you.
Yeah, exactly. So that had its own sound. It
Yes,
has its own noise,
it does.
yes.
Liked it so much I even got myself one. And I never did like Fords, but when I heard those Shelby Cobras run and the Shelby Mustang, I says, I got to have something of that ilk. And
Yeah.
lo and behold, I got this one Mustang, which you did a great job on.
Thank you.
Yeah. But that was, yeah, I love the sound of
No,
that.
the sound, it has its own sound.
Especially when it has a gearbox.
Gearbox,
and
that's
it
right.
accelerates and it's go
That's
right
right.
through the gears.
Yeah,
that's masculine.
I still like gearbox, you know,
Oh, I
the
love
cars.
gearbox.
That's different.
Yeah, and it doesn't. You prefer synchronized, so it's nice and quiet.
That's
you
right.
Hit the downshift. It's nice. School buses, we want the noise, but when we drive in a car, quiet.
That's right.
Now, what are some of the sounds you like besides motors at, let's say, at cars?
At cars, you mean collision auto repair
Yeah,
specialist?
collision auto repair
Yes.
specialist. Yeah.
I like, frankly, I like the sound of equipment fixing cars, you know.
Give us an idea of some of the
yeah.
equipment that you use
For
to fix
example,
cars.
when I go to check the car being in the spray booth being painted, I like the sound of
The spray
gun.
You know, you gotta be a guest again and bring some sounds of this stuff going off.
Okay.
That'll be fun, you know?
So,
so you like the sound
yeah,
of the
sound
spray.
of the spray gun. And when I'm checking on the body repair area, and I like the sound of for example, the grinder that it's straightening or grinding the cars. And different section of the shop has different equipment that is being used to repair and fix the car.
So you like the sound of that grinder when it's really eating away to get rid of those dents and bumps?
And paint it, and eventually the car becomes like brand new.
You like the sound of that hammer going too, huh?
Yeah, again, all those different sound of different equipments come together and put together a nice cars that looks totally different than
what it was before. You gave it a new life. Sort of like what doctors go through with us. We hate to go see the doctor. And
so they get brand new looks. Yeah. That's right.
Now, right now, is that towards the end of the show, or is that for the next PSA? Oh, okay, cool. It's all right, it's public access TV. We're moving along there, and we're talking about the sounds of a car. Been going through a metamorphosis like some of our honey boo-boos that we do and try to blame it on others or whatever. No, that's another sound. Yeah, I know what you're saying there. So you're hearing what we go through. Let's say the doctor, he has to hear us, how we say, we don't want a shot and this and that, and the protesting and the therapy, but in the end, we get well. So you're hearing the sounds of a car getting well.
That is true. That's very, very close to your example. We do different things to the car, a different section of the car, different part of the car. We straighten it out, we replace some parts, and at the end, it becomes a healthy looking car again.
So do you ever get off of some of the sounds that your customers make?
Well, yeah, definitely. When we are finished with the car and the customer sound that he or she is happy with our job that we have done on that car, that's very, very intriguing. That's very satisfying for me. When the customer comes and said, hey, that's a great job that you did on my car, that makes all the work worth.
Words of appreciation.
Yeah, words of appreciation. Yeah.
So yes, that is a
that
pleasant.
sounds very good.
Have you ever had any challenges, let's say, at collision auto repair specialists?
Every car is different, and we get some older cars that we do restoration with that they they create challenges, as well as we get the latest, newest technology cars that it present challenges, whether it's mechanically or the older cars, for example. The challenge that we have in terms of the engine or the parts, it's kind of hard to get those older parts or older segment for the old cars. That is one of the biggest challenges for the older cars. For newer car, they are very high-tech engines and high-tech equipment on the cars, and that is also present its own challenges. Sometimes we do everything and we replace and fix everything, and still we are faced with a problem that we have to overcome and solve it.
Have to go back to school, huh?
Exactly. So that doesn't take that long, but in itself, that is a challenge that we face and take care of.
Indeed, indeed. So like sort of where you were talking about persistence comes in.
Exactly.
So you had to be adamant enough to make sure that that product is fixed.
It's fixed and in good shape.
Or hunting for things that are no longer made. They have to be fabricated.
Well, we try to get the original parts as much as we possibly can. But in some cases, if it's almost impossible to get those parts, we would have it fabricated.
You know, we're going to have a narrow PSA now, so we're going to take a breather so we can get in and talk about the futures of collision auto repair specialists. Where you're going to go where with
Sure.
that. So with that being said, is that the show?
Sound, a group of vibrations, things that can be heard. Sound can influence the way we communicate in the world with others. Many artists have used sounds in music, speech, and sound effects when recorded, used to accompany a presentation, film, video production, or broadcast. Those who create with sound hear the sound within.